I just can't let you go. Lord knows that I've tried to. You said I was the only one. No one likes being lied to. You made this mess and left me with the pieces. Now I wanna burn all the bridges between us. I can't focus, I can't forget. I've been thinking too much lately. I just need to clear my head. I just need to clear my head. I've been stuck on your memory, but it's not like I need it. And we may have some history, but we don't have to repeat it. You made this mess and left me with the pieces. Now I'm gonna burn all the bridges between us. I can't focus, I can't forget. I've been thinking too much lately. I just need to clear my head. 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 I just need to. I just need to clear my head. I just need to. I just need to clear my head. I just need to. I just need to clear my head. I just need to. I just need to clear my head. I can't focus, I can't forget. I've been thinking too much lately. I just need to clear my head. Oh, clear my head. I just need to clear my head. I just need to clear my head. Empty hearts and neon lights, they're playing with my mind. Gotta get out of here tonight. Oh, I wanna run off and fly, and I'll tell myself it's fine to be alone, just to find somewhere that finally feels like home. Oh, oh, oh. I hate all this overthinking. Oh, 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 oh. The more I swim, the more I'm sinking. Take me to a world of silver. No more heartbreaks, tears, painkillers. Take me somewhere unfamiliar. Bring me back to where we started out. Get me out of now, to where we started out. Get me out of now, to where we started out. La 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 la, oh, oh. Get me out of broken hearts and starting fights, turning truth to lies. Gotta get up, stop wasting time. Yeah, I wanna run off and fly, and I'll tell myself it's fine to be alone, just to find somewhere that finally feels like home. Oh, oh, oh. I hate all this overthinking. Oh, 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 oh. The more I swim, the more I'm sinking. Take me to a world of silver. No more heartbreaks, tears, painkillers. Take me somewhere unfamiliar. Bring me back to where we started out. Get me out of now, to where we started out. Get me out of now, to where we started out. Oh, no.
Okay. Hello and welcome everybody. Alright, just gonna take a quick moment to settle in and then we'll get into our regular Tuesday stream. No Jadakiss today. Trying to not let my account get flagged for copyright too much. One of the reasons why I switched from Twitch to YouTube is because my account got flagged too many times, and I actually got banned on Twitch because I had a bunch of infractions from copyright, and I got flagged for drug stuff because I was telling people not to do drugs. Somebody reported me for drug abuse, and I literally got banned on Twitch for those two reasons. So I'm gonna try not to do too many copyright songs. Some days I'm just gonna say fuck it and just, you know, play some bangers like we did last week with Jadakiss. But yeah, a lot of the time I am gonna try to avoid that as best possible. I don't want my account to get flagged too many times. Always nice to get home to a MAGA stream. Let's go. Who creates your art? If you scroll up in the chat, Leerwin, Leerwin, that is my guy right there. Leer does pretty much everything art related. He does 99% of it. Yeah, don't do. I was literally telling people not to do drugs, and I got reported for it. Was really, really stupid. I had to like file an appeal with them and things, and then I was just like, yeah, you know what? Honestly, Twitch was going in a pretty bad direction in my opinion with their, you know, political correctness, etc. And I wasn't vibing with it, so we simply switched to YouTube. But I'll tell you guys what, you know, we'll come in with some. I'll spend a little bit more time with sorting out the music next week, so we make sure that we come in with some real fresh heat. But all right, everybody, let's get into some stuff. Am I related to Trader Main? No. The YouTube algo thinks we're related, though, that's for sure. Yeah, I mean, the stuff that they allow on Twitch, right? Literal just tits just hanging out everywhere. Basically, like, one minor step away from porn, and then I get banned for telling people to be responsible and to not do abuse substance. It was very, very off-putting. So far, it seems like people like the YouTube. I think that YouTube is way better for the playback. Perfect timing, unlike my market entries. That's a banger, Carlo. Okay, sorry, I need to clear my throat really quickly. I went this weekend and did a bunch of family stuff, and now I'm fighting off a minor cold. I'm not sick at all yet, but I have like the beginning remnants. Yeah, we're gonna do a hot tub. We're gonna go back to Twitter or to Twitch and do hot tub streams. Imagine a fucking nerdy dude in a fucking blue latex suit. All right, we're moving on. All right, guys. So today, we're going to obviously look at Bitcoin. I'm going to talk about plans, etc., etc. We'll spend a good amount of time on the corn. We'll probably look at some altcoins here and there, and then we'll see where the chat takes us after that. So I'm probably not going to run the stream too long today. I have a lot of stuff I need to get done, so it's probably not going to be a 2-hour stream or anything, but we'll see what we can do here. So yeah, let's get started. But before I do that, obligatory shill. Press that like button. There's 120 of you in here and 15 likes. If you could press that like button for me, it really helps us out with the YouTube algo, which like I said on the previous streams, we have a goal of getting this channel to 25,000 subscribers this year. So pressing like and commenting, etc., does actually help a lot with that kind of stuff. So cheers. But yeah, let's get into it. Good stuff. Cheers from Brazil. Once more, welcome, brother Bernardo. I like your profile picture. Big fan of the Dr. Manhattan meme. All right, let's get into some Bitcoin. All right, let's start off with the higher time frame. We'll do our standard rundown. We'll work our way into the lower time frames, and we'll just kind of see where the conversations take us. Sorry, definitely have a frog in my throat this morning, though. You're gonna have to ignore the throat clears. Okay, so from a high time frame standpoint, this is all gonna be more or less review. We've had no dramatic changes or anything, so we're just gonna do a light review through this and see where the ramble takes us. I'm gonna start doing things a little bit more organized too. Rather than just talking, I'm gonna try to include more text to make it a little easier for our visual learners. I'm a big visual learner myself, so I'm gonna try to help you guys out with that. So from a macro standpoint, definitely still you know, super bullish. So like, I don't think from a macro standpoint that anything should have changed in your guys' eyes. I'm not gonna sit here and talk about like all the kind of happening narratives and stuff. I don't really fucking care. I do think that those things do play out to our advantage, but either way, I mean, I'm a trend follower. For the time being, the trend is still definitely up. So from a macro standpoint, we want to remain bullish, in my opinion. From a more of a medium time frame, I think medium time frame is more likely just going to be like range bound, right? I think that for the time being, that we're probably just going to remain stuck between these two areas, which is from a, you know, capitulation type of argument, just us just continuing to like, you know, come up into the highs, right? You know, maybe not that high, let's delete. Maybe, you know, can maybe continue a little higher and just do some of this kind of stuff. Like, this is the best thing to fuck a lot of market participants over. Some of you guys might be a little bit more experienced than the average, you know, member in our CT community, but this will just absolutely obliterate people. Whenever we go into these kind of market regimes, it's just basically free money if you submit and go along with it. So now that we're going to probably go sideways, people, you know, Pavlovian argument, people were probably still trying to bet on momentum continuation. I really don't think, even though I think that Bitcoin will eventually resolve upwards, I think that it's going to chop people the fuck up in the meantime, as we probably get into, you know, it's out to be February, and we're probably going to keep chopping into March, I would imagine. That's pretty much the core kind of plan. If we move forward, I think that from a medium time frame, we're basically range bound. From a low time frame, we're actually kind of bullish right now, to be honest. Like, there's definitely seems to be some momentum. I had a setup at the beginning of the week to get long, and it does seem to be playing out. It's already hit into FTA, and then like final take profit kind of areas, closer to 46, but I'll cover that in a minute. So on lower time frame, I'm almost like leaning bullish. I would say conservative bullish, right? Like, you're bullish within the range, but expecting supply up here in the 45, 46K region to hold back bulls for the time being. So I'm going to do this kind of stuff more for you guys. I got a lot of positive feedback about this, so we'll be doing this more in the future. I'm always open to, you guys maybe aren't as familiar with this because I talk about it a lot more in the Paragon group, but I'm always super open to the idea of you guys presenting a different way to do things. Just, you know, make sure that it's a legitimate contribution and not just you asking me to tell you where to put your stop or something stupid like that. Moving forward, right, so like I said, the main focus right now is that we're probably going to remain range bound. The kind of directional plans stay the same, that if we start to get above 50, you know, like basically this isn't the price level, right? If we get above 46K, I don't think that means that we just go up. It's contextual. You know, basically what I'll say is what type of price structuring do we see as we trade into this kind of region? If you see something like this, you're far more likely to go up versus if you see this. All right, this is more likely to revert. This is more likely to keep chugging along. So up here, if we trade into this region, which I kind of do think that we probably will, maybe not that high, but probably into like the 46ers or mid 45s, I think we'll probably be able to get up there at some point. And paying attention to structure plus spot flows will be very key for me. If I think that there's actually real demand chasing up there, then I might like actually expect that we'll break up, but I really would consider that to be a lower probability. So if we start to get up into the 45s, 46s, and we see that kind of healthy chop, then that means that we could probably trade all the way towards 54K, right? All the kind of levels and stuff haven't changed at all. If you get to below 38K, then 32K is the kind of next major support area. If for some reason we do trade all the way down to 32K, been saying this for months now, you're going to want to buy 32K super aggressively. Basically 32K all the way down to 29K is macro dip buying territory. But to be honest, like as time goes on, I really don't know that we're going to get that opportunity. If we get it, I will seize it, and I will bet very hard on this region. But probably most likely what's happening is that we just range it out and then just break up from the range. So really, I think that your best fills are going to be in like the 38 down to 36K at like the lowest. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it, right? There isn't like a whole lot of other stuff to go over on higher time frame just because nothing's really changed. If you have any questions on that kind of stuff, let me know. I do think that this is going to resolve upwards still, but it's probably going to range it up first. We'll probably see one more attack at the lows. If we get one more attack into this region, I'm probably going to bet really hard on it. Obviously, that's contingent upon what spot flows are doing. If I think that there's really still, spot distribution taking place, then I'm less likely to take this kind of play. We'll talk about that more, but it does seem that the spot distribution that we were seeing has slowed down dramatically over the past 2 weeks, which is what we wanted to see, right? You guys remember last week's stream, we had a heavy emphasis on paying attention to the Coinbase discount. Just a couple of days after the stream, the discount started to dissipate, and even got to a point where we've had a Coinbase premium over perpetuals recently, which is what I wanted to see to be risk on again. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. If there's any questions on this stuff, let me know. I think that this is ultimately how that this will probably resolve. If I was to draw it a little bit more accurately, it's probably that this move probably has a little more juice in it, probably gets bonked back down, maybe some chop, attack at the lows, compression, and then break. That's probably, so we'll delete all the squiggles. This is probably what happens if I had to just guess. So I'll catch up with chat, and then we will work our way down into the lower time frames and talk about flows eventually. Why is ETH pumping? Is it? I mean, brother, it's up 0.7%. I'll look at ETH before we get into altcoins, but I've been pretty pessimistic on ETH for a long time. The Comfy Song Bonfire vibes, that's what it's actually, it literally is the Dark Souls Bonfire lo-fi. So yeah, you hit the nail on the head. Here, I'll link the title. There's a channel, Bits and Hits. They make lo-fi video game music that's perfect for chill background stuff. What's up, Frank? Do you see yourself trading full-time at 10 years from now? I mean, 10 years is a fucking long time. I've traded now for about 9 years. Do I see myself trading full-time in 10 years? Definitely not. Definitely not. I'm already, over the past, year or two, I've reduced my activity a lot. I still trade a little bit more than I maybe need to. But do I see myself trading in 10 years? Definitely not. I mean, way before, in 10 years time, I want to be a family man by then, honestly, Definitely don't want to be trying to grind it out and working more than I need to. So in 10 years time, I would like to have built up some of my business a little bit more, so to have that steady income to support my family, and then just, focus on being a dad. I think far too often in life, men end up not really being there for their family the way that they're supposed to. It's one thing to be there financially, it's another thing to be there emotionally as well, and I want to do both. I want to be a good dad. So 10 years time, I want to be a dad, not a trader. Definitely not. Grayscale's been selling this week. Asgard, not really. Well, I'll talk about that in more detail when we get there, but no, it doesn't really seem that they're selling so much, which is what I wanted to see. That's why we were able to drift up, right? Basically, as soon as Coinbase stopped selling, Binance started lifting. So Binance has been the core reason why we've traded up from 38 to 43. It's almost all Nance. Do you know where we can see spot bid charts? I mean, I can kind of cover that a little bit for you later, but when we get into flows. But how do you want to see spot bids? I mean, you could use Agar, you could use Trading Light, you could use I even just use simple trading view indicators, give me a really good read on flows like that. So Carlo, I'll show you guys that in a little bit when we get to that section. Morning, Mag. Hope you're well. What up, Bahamas? Are you spot hedged? I'm not. I'm not spot hedged because I made the mistake of being really late to the hedge opportunity. So what I did was I just sold a lot of spot off. Well, when I say a lot of spot, I sold a good chunk of my Solana off. I did definitely peel off some Bitcoin risk. So yeah, I had the plan to hedge it properly, and I just didn't execute it very well. It's a kind of the classic lesson that you can know exactly what's going to happen, but you still have to execute properly, right? The ultimate pain as a trader when you have the perfect plan, perfect alert squiggle, whatever, and then you don't trade it. If you get time, can you discuss Sui? Yeah, I'll don't worry. Sui's on my altcoin list, so we'll look at shitcoins when we get there. Retire and maybe trade the yearly time frame. So I mean, I'm never going to retire from trading, to be clear. That when I'm saying that earlier, where I'm not a trader, quote unquote, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to trade. It just means I'm not going to trade a lot. So I wouldn't trade on the yearly time frame per se, but I don't really care about time frames. It's kind of a meme. I would still do positional trading and portfolio management. And then with just what I mainly mean is like the day in grind of sitting down and trying to intraday trade and stuff. I'm really not going to do that too much in the future. When I do that in the future, it'll be just because I have like the urge to do it, rather than nowadays. I just really feel like I need to make progress still. It's crazy how in life, if you set any sort of goals and you move in any sort of direction positively, when you get there, it never really feels like it really mattered. I remember telling my friends in 2020 that if ETH went to $4,000, I was going to retire, right? That was an exact direct quote. And ETH got there and I didn't even consider retiring. Once a trader, always a trader. Facts. Yeah, I'm never going to give it up fully. I love it too much. But there's just things that will take, will supersede it for importance in the future. Breath, I meant Grayscale is selling less this week. Okay, yeah, I misunderstood you, Asgard. Yeah, they definitely are not selling as much this week. I think the simple argument around the GBTC flows is that the people that wanted to sell the most aggressively early on did already, right? The people that wanted it outsold. Are you looking to adopt? Yeah, I'm gonna adopt later. Looking to get back into Solana? Yeah, I definitely don't want to. I don't want to get left behind with Solana. Worst case scenario, it's slightly above where I sold my stuff right now. Or yeah, I think my average sell was 102 or something like that. I don't really remember. I definitely don't want to get left behind on Solana. I really do think that I should get an opportunity to buy again. Don't worry though, I'll cover Solana in detail when I get there. But Solana is the only thing other than Bitcoin that I really want to make sure I'm holding for the next few years. It's funny nowadays, Solana is so accepted by everybody as being a good investment, but a year ago, I mean, I used to get shit for not being long ETH and being long Solana. It's funny how that works, right? One of the best lessons I can ever teach you guys with regard to that kind of stuff is betting on your friends. What made me bullish on Solana last year was the fact that I have a bunch of friends that are building platforms and protocols, etc. So bet on your friends. Underrated alpha. Dead serious. Bet on the boys or girls. Have you had any light bulb moments that really got you consistent with your profitability? I understand you don't want to reveal all the sauce. So definitely the original introduction to Voxy market theory was pretty big for me to understand why price moves the way it does. That was a light bulb moment. I've had so many of those kind of light bulb moments where I made big leaps forward. So I mean, I could say I could ramble for an hour on that kind of stuff. As painful as this is for some of you guys to hear, another big light bulb moment was the whole recognizing that technical analysis is a meme. I'm gonna actually be detailing that pretty extensively in my introduction education that I'm gonna be putting out. So yeah, for those of you guys that don't know, I've been working on an introductory education that's gonna cover all the kind of 5 or 6 main pillars that I think that you need to learn early on to trade. So that's going to be really cool for some of you guys. I think it'll be review for some, and then maybe it'll really help others. But a lot of my education is targeted more at the more advanced lads, and I wanted to have something that was more digestible for everybody. So it's going to be like an interesting blend of noob-friendly stuff with a twist of experience and nuance into it. So I think it's going to be really cool. I'm hoping it's going to be received as well as I am expecting. But yeah, I don't want to ramble about light bulb moments because I could keep going on and on for sure. You know, recognizing how stupidly easy VWAPs were, that was a big light bulb moment for me. Could keep going. We look at render, yeah. Guys, I would prefer don't ask about the altcoins until we get to altcoins section. I'm gonna do the rest of Bitcoin stuff soon. Then we'll go to ETH, and then we'll go into altcoins. It's the same routine every week. ETH BTC just reclaimed the yearly open alpha right there. Is ETH BTC actually trending upwards? No, we'll look at it when we get there. I was long from 39K region, closed it yesterday at 43. What's the next move? You think that's a great trade? If so, I mean, that's basically the kind of plan that I had. I think that Bitcoin Bitcoin's at my FTA right now, which we'll cover in more detail soon on medium time frame. I think that Bitcoin probably gets bonked soon. It could probably drift up anywhere from another $1,000 to maybe $2,000 potentially, but yeah, Bitcoin's probably going to get bonked by supply. And I mean, you ask what the plan is. This is what the plan is. I think that this is more or less what's going to happen. Bonk, chop, sweep the lows one more time, trade up and compress in the range highs, and yeet up probably in March, maybe April. I don't know. I do think that extended period of painful chop is probably going to happen though. What do you think about the Dalton setups? Yeah, I mean, that stuff definitely is real. The idea that if you're if you're balanced and you're inside of a distribution, and price starts to spend time outside of it and then comes back into it, it's a super high probability that it will come to the other side, right? So that's your Dalton trade. I don't really like the Dalton. I think the Dalton stuff's a little too simple. I like to add on the idea that the further you go to the other side of value, the further you'll go in the other direction. So if you go way outside here and then you reaccept this value, that means you're probably going to go way the fuck over here on the other side of value. We'll digress from that. We'll keep this doodle. Somebody screenshot this for me because I think this is actually a decent chance of playing out, and then I'm going to look like a fucking genius. And then everyone's going to ask me if you traded it. People don't actually ask that enough. You guys should make a habit of asking people if they actually traded their setups or not. Looking forward to the material. Keep an eye out for it. Thank you. No problem, Carla. Okay, so I caught up with the chat. Let's go ahead and let's move it down. Once more, I'm gonna do a reminder. 130 of you in chat and 45 likes. If you guys could press that like button for me, would appreciate that. But I'm gonna go ahead and move forward into the next bit. We could probably do a quick scan on the VWAP. So one of the main things that has me concerned is that basically the yearly open is still sort of bearish, right? Like we're coincidentally the monthly lines up perfectly with the 30-day rolling. So right now, you know, we're definitely at the first kind of major upside FTA, and probably what happens on medium time frame is that we get bonked from here, and then come back into demand and then trade up higher. So we probably get bonked from here, come down into this region, you know, demand region, catch a bid, and then make slightly, you know, trade up higher into supply. This is kind of the end all be all area, around the mid 45s, where I think people will, I think that bulls will really start to struggle up here. So this is probably what happens on medium time frame bonk into one more drive up, which probably leads into the move down into the lows. There isn't really a reason to spend too much time on the VWAP template just because it's the beginning of the year. If we look at the weekly though, right, we had a pretty rough start to the year. Fresh weekly is looking pretty bullish right now. So yeah, I mean, pretty decent confluence on the weekly with what I just said, that we probably are able to trade down into this region, find some more demand, and then trade up higher into supply over here. Definitely upon scanning books this morning, the ask is definitely really heavy up into this region. Most order books are definitely stacked with asks relative to their bids. So yeah. my opinion, no sweep of the low. It was crickets at 38K. Everybody was calling for 35, 32, etc., etc. Would be too easy of a setup again. I mean, you're obviously welcome to disagree. But I definitely think that this will happen. If I had to guess, this is probably what it looks like. What you're not accounting for is that this would be like, a month or two. That's why this would work, because of the time element. No, it's not just going to give us a free entry down here in a week. It's going to make us deal with all sorts of fuckery. Chop, 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 chop on this way down into that region. I also don't really subscribe to the idea that just because there's like a TPO anomaly or level or something that actually matters. I think TPO shit's kind of bait for a lot of people. But that's the deal with all the stuff I use. It's all about the nuance and understanding. Nobody manages to trade their squibbles too hard. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I trade the vast majority of my squibbles for sure. Not as much on altcoins, but like all the Bitcoin ones and stuff get traded. Unless I'm on vacation. Magus, do you have a YouTube video to show how to set up TradingView? Mine plays mind tricks. I do have some older videos that you can go back. Maybe I could an updated version of that at some point. I did talk about doing a indicator stream soon, so maybe we'll do that. To be honest, the indicator stream kind of shit's super boring for me, but I know a lot of you guys like the idea of seeing indicator breakdown, so we'll probably do that soon. I developed my own system that seems to have edge with inefficient moves into initiation low points. I want to develop its max potential. Is there something we can do in the Paragon group? I mean, yeah. Initiation liquidation, you mean? Oh, or liquidity, maybe you mean. I don't really know. Yeah, I mean, I definitely can say confidently that you can probably come and steal some of the spice from me in the group. And that will probably help you. One of the things that people are the most surprised by is that everybody comes and joins the group to learn order flow and these kind of things from me, and then I think the thing that people are always surprised that they walk away with is psychological nuance and stuff. Those are the things I really spend the most time on these days myself, so I think people are often surprised a lot of the time by how much you can learn from somebody that's traded a long time with just the psychological elements and stuff. Definitely an underrated thing. Love from Ireland. Thanks, Brian. We are live, Walt. Do you have a mullet? What a question. I'm not gonna lie, Greg. Back in 2022, I almost shaved myself a mullet, actually. Not even joking. But no, I don't. I just have short hair. Can confirm, have stolen much spice, am now a spicy trader. How do you improve accuracy on VWAP trades? Hybrid. Can you elaborate a little bit more what you mean? I mean, first and foremost, right, you need to accurately be able to read what the VWAP is telling you. Is price, more likely to be reversion? Is it more likely to be momentum? What's the strength of the trend in either direction? It's all about really defining what the VWAP's telling you and then going along with it. I'm 26 years old on the 9 to 5, trying to make this bull run, doing the right things, being here at the right time in the space. At the end of 2020, found you recently. I'm glad to hear that, brother. I hope that I can help you guys in the correct direction. If you're trying to get yourself out of the kind of 9 to 5 trap, there's definitely huge elements to luck with that. I was very fortunate that I was able to quit my job. I quit my job before last bull run, which in hindsight maybe wasn't. I should have waited a little bit, but I quit my job in February of 2020. There's a lot of elements of luck for it. And, you know, some of the best things I can say that you guys don't want to hear is it's not always about how good you are at trading and stuff. A lot of it has to do with how much capital you have built up, right? You need a fat cushion to feel comfortable and to feel like you don't need to trade to survive. And then, you know, having alternative income streams is such an underrated thing. I really don't hear other traders mention that very often. And to be clear, I'm not talking about paid group type shit either. Like, I don't even make money from the Paragon. People don't know that, but I just don't pay myself. I have other businesses that are out completely separate from crypto and financial markets, and I really think that you guys got to go down that route in some version where you have other income streams. I know that's not the sexy answer that everyone wants to hear. Everyone wants to hear, yeah, you're gonna do these two systems, and then you're just gonna make $800 a day, and you're gonna just be rich, right, or whatever. Like, no, fuck all that. Actually, one of the most underrated pieces of alpha with success as a trader is having stable income that's separate from your trading. This is the thing that I'm saying this from experience, guys, because I messed up and I had such instability in my income for a couple of years. And it really put heavy stress on myself. I'm super fortunate that the bull run sparked right after and I got carried by that. But yeah, we'll digress from that because I know you guys don't want to hear that kind of question anyways. Do you like Mark Douglas for psychology? I think that Mark Douglas's stuff is maybe a good introduction. You know, you don't need to read the whole book either, right? You want to know the only thing you really need to take away from Mark Douglas is the idea that when you have a proven system, it should make the stresses and some of the psychological problems, it should diminish that pressure, because you should just know that, like, okay, my system has positive expectancy, I can bet on it now, right? That's the only real major takeaway from Mark Douglas. Nothing against anybody else, but I definitely think I go way beyond that kind of stuff. How do you avoid overtrading VWAP retests? That's a good question. Actually, it was a really surprisingly good question. Well, so basically, I'm not going to do a reversion argument because you don't really want to be interacting with the VWAP when we're talking about reversion. So we're talking about momentum. From a momentum standpoint, it's basically how many times has the VWAP been tested, right? So if you have the start of a day and the day breaks up and your VWAP's trailing along and you come and retest it. Well, since we've broken up, we've only retested, this is our first retest. You can use the stupid first test, best test kind of argument, how you would with a fucking support line. The first time you test the VWAP is going to be the best. If you bounce from it and you test it again, it's going to be worse than this one. If you test it again, it's going to be worse. Generally, every time you test the VWAP when you're in momentum, if it's not showing clear strength bouncing from it, especially if it's making like lower highs and you see absorption and stuff, every test on the VWAP is going to have diminishing returns. So if this is what a standard day looks like a lot of time on a momentum-y kind of day, I don't really fuck with like the second, third, and fourth tests. I really want to be in on like the first or second test. So surprisingly good question, Walt. I don't think I've ever had anyone ask that before, even though I think about that all the time. Every test of the VWAP, your expectancy is probably diminished. Probably, right? That's not definitive by any means. Want to be a proud owner of vending machines in the whole metropolitan area. Damn, Lear's gonna corner the soda market. Is there any video explaining how to manage trades? I do have a couple of those, yeah, so you just gotta scroll back. They're a lot older. I mean, I have a lot of videos now, so you're gonna have to scroll back, but there is like it's called like scalping execution manual stops, I think. I definitely have videos for that stuff on YouTube for free. What are your thoughts on breakout prop? I'm not gonna say, I don't really know, to be honest. I mean, there's I've been asked to be a part of those kind of things before, and I've always said no. It's nothing against them, to be clear, but I don't really like those kind of business models because you're basically benefiting off of the back of how bad other traders are. But again, not trying to start beef with those guys or anything, so I genuinely don't care. I'm sure that there's infinitely worse business models than theirs. I genuinely like Cred. I think he's a funny fucking guy. Makes me laugh pretty regularly. I work as a DB consultant. You mean like database? I don't actually know. Database consultant also takes the weight off of the trading and makes it much more easy to trade for sure. That's big alpha right there, guys. The best thing for you is to not have like a full up 9-to-5 job that requires the majority of your energy to work. If you can have like a side kind of gig or some sort of alternative income streams to offset the pressure to make money trading, it's very, very good for you. What were your best setups before you quit your job? Could you review your trades whilst you had a job? Brother, I think, James, I think you're in the Paragon, so I'm more inclined to do that kind of intricate stuff within the group, to be honest. I can't sit here and tell you that I really remember a lot of my trades in 2019. I remember some of the big ones, but a lot of the intraday stuff, there's no fucking possible way I can remember that. Taking tens of thousands of trades since 2019, so I really couldn't speculate. The one thing I could say, and I've already done this before, is I could tell you like a lot of my big mistakes. Like, we'll do one. I always go back to fucking Binance doesn't even have the price history. I always go back to this example. These are the days when I really started trading derivatives on BitMEX, and this nuke, where longing 6K was basically free money until it broke. And this was a really pivotal moment in my trading career because I got blown the fuck out by it. I lost over 8 Bitcoin on this. It was like 8.5 Bitcoin, which for me was a lot of money back then. And this was the moment where I made a conscious decision to take this stuff more seriously and to stop being somebody else's profit, basically. So yeah, I don't want to spend too much time on those kind of things because I could talk about it forever. You guys are asking pretty good questions today, though. Once I get through the questions, I'll move on into the next bits of the rundown. If it's hard to hear, it's probably the right thing to hear. Damn. Spitting facts. Would love to see an indicator video from you. Love from Argentina, or cheers from Argentina. Cheers, my brother. Would love to hear stories from people. People that were in the group or are still in the group. So a lot of the time, people that really resonate with the stuff end up staying pretty long term. That could be pretty interesting. The only thing that's going to be difficult about that, guys, is that like a lot of people that are actually good at trading don't want to come on a stream and talk. So that's going to be the hardest thing for that. But that is a pretty good idea, actually, to have success story chats. I don't remember breakfast, let alone the trades from last week. Yeah, I mean, it's just completely impossible for me to remember trades from years ago unless they're the really big trades that had a big impact on me. Normally, those are the losses, right, where you lose and it just really fucks up your brain. DB is business development and sales. Fair enough. Yeah, that's good. I built a music business that's basically automated. Haven't put any hours into it the last few months, and I've been able to live. It allows me to put 10 to 16 hours a day into trading. That's fucking awesome, Josh. I mean, I personally don't want to put 16 hours a day into trading anymore, but that's awesome, man. Do you think we can retest 42K short term? Yeah, I mean, I just basically said that I think that's probably what happens, right? We probably are going to get bunked from where we're at now, maybe one more sweep into it, but I think that this is the next area that we're going to come to, and that we'll probably come to 42K and then trade up higher from there into the kind of actual supply right here. Can't say enough good things about the group. Put 1 month in on the line, gave it a shot. You had the cash to trade. You had the cash to put it into the group. Damn. What a fucking chill from Cryptoski. Thanks, brother. How do you identify take profit targets with shitcoins that have minimal price history and already above all-time high? So you could use, flows, right? I mean, that's obviously what I'm going to tell you to do, which is going to be, the idea that you, obviously with your instance, when you're talking about prices, you're talking about it going up, right? So if we're talking about something going up, you need to start to learn to read distribution and absorption. So you're trying to identify when the takers are starting to run out of purchasing power and when the passive sellers are overwhelming them. Honestly, also you could just use, this is good. This is bad advice, but it really is also the best advice. The longer you trade, the more you just kind of feel that shit out. So a lot of the times for the purpose of selling, getting out of things and stuff, it's either, okay, I'm happy with how much I made, or all right, this thing looks like it's done. Looking for momentum loss structure, a lot of these kind of things. But yeah, it's just a balls tingling kind of thing a lot of the time. Any plans on getting Super Chillin' back on again? Yeah, we could do that. He's been dealing with some shit though, because he got hacked on Twitter last week, so I'm not gonna bug him right now. But yeah, I could get Chillin' on at some point. He's definitely got a fucking epic story. Magus, I've ever asked you about the 90-10 rule about winning and losing traders. What's your opinion on that? I mean, I think that, so yeah, basically the argument that 90% of people lose and 10% of people win. I don't really care about any of those kind of things personally. I think that, those kind of platitudes are probably true in some form, right? Like, obviously the majority of people are not going to do well trading. Over a large number of trades, you're more likely to do well if you just get lucky in a smaller data set. But it just is what it is. I would say that the 90-10 rule is probably an oversimplification, because if it's more about like that 10% is not really 10% of people, but 10% of capital, or maybe it is 10% of people that have the majority of capital. I don't really think it's not really worth caring about those kind of things, to be honest. But Reg, I mean, I'm more than happy to chat with you on one-on-one about that if you're really interested in it. I'm right there with Mag. We'll try to use this bull to build a nice cushion as a foundation to create real wealth long term. Being from Brazil is the first step of moving to a more fair country. Yeah, I mean, I can't say too much because I'm not the most knowledgeable, but I mean, if it is crazy how where you're born has such a big impact on your options. I've definitely been super fortunate in my life with a lot of those kind of things. Now it's like about to be super nerdy. I played Dungeons and Dragons once in my life. I played it for like an hour, and basically all I did was create a character. But it's crazy how real life is basically Dungeons and Dragons character creation, where you just fucking roll a dice and you either have good stats or you don't. It's crazy how RNG our starting points are. So I do empathize and feel bad for people that have that start off with suboptimal stats. But you could just be a badass and grind your way through it, Do you have any end of year predictions? Not really, dude. I think that we'll go up higher. So I mean, seeing 50, over 50K is pretty high probability by the end of this year. But I mean, we got it's about to be February. There's so much time for the rest of the year. I really can't. I can't. I'd just be making shit up if I just was to say any price predictions. 10 to 16 hours a day just forward testing and developing my system 1 year into trading. Okay, so if you're only 1 year into trading, putting in 10 to 16 hours is pretty legitimate. I know it's early, but it's just curious. Yeah, I mean, sorry, brother. I wish I could give you a better thing. I don't want to just make shit up. It is possible that we see all-time highs near the end of the year or next year. I don't think that that's unreasonable. But I would just be, guessing a little bit too much. Can you show your active indicators? VWAP, delta, open interest, premiums. That's pretty much it. All my systems more or less use the same tools, just with different parameters to make them fit for swing trading versus scalping versus intraday, etc. I'm sure this was answered in other streams, but how long did it take you to hit consistent profitability? Yeah, so I always answer that, and I kind of over explain that, because I hit profitability technically like super early on, just out of luck with swing trading equities and things like Chainlink and stuff. I think I was still pretty fucking stupid when Chainlink made me a bag, so I think I probably hit the consistency that I really wanted at the end of 2019 is where I felt like I was really trading on BitMEX well. So yeah, it took me, I mean, it took me probably about a year and a half to do that, but I had already been trading more casually for a long time before that, right? I started in like 2015 messing around with equities, and got lucky on a lot of stuff too. So, you know, realistically, you should probably be looking at, like, if you're gonna succeed with trading, it's probably gonna take you somewhere around 2 years, plus or minus. We're all different. Some people will do it slightly sooner, some people will take them slightly longer. It's really not worth comparing yourself against other people with that kind of stuff. What's better, keep it all in one wallet or diversify multiple wallets? Oh, dude, for sure diversify wallets, guys. I'm not a fucking on-chain security specialist or anything like that, but you definitely need to be breaking your funds up into, I mean, God forbid, what happens when one of your wallet gets compromised, right? In some way, shape, or form. There's a lot of different ways that that can happen. You need to break your funds up. Have your funds on different types of wallets. Have your funds in completely different places. Have funds in the fucking Boomer legacy system too, guys. That's underrated in crypto. I fucking you think I don't keep money on fucking boring ass brokerages? That shit's like, you know, the likelihood of systemic risk reaching Fidelity or something, or, you know, fucking TD Ameritrade is so much less likely than like a crypto platform. So break your funds up into different wallets, different brokerage types, etc., etc. Make sure you fucking read the fine print and try your best to not get scammed. But again, I'm not a fucking security expert. Would you ever recommend low margin spot trades for strong supports like 32K, for instance? Probably not. I mean, the main thing that's going to go into that is going to be the question of how much is it going to cost you to have that margin. The thing is, guys, is that when markets are trending up, margin gets expensive. So the main issue, and this applies to leverage or margin, right? So probably would not suggest that you guys use margin behind swing trades. If I wanted to use slightly larger size for swing trades, I would say use futures, because they're not going to cost you anything. The only thing that you're going to be paying for is technically the premium, because they're almost always in contango. So it's going to be a little bit more expensive on the front end to get positioned on the future. But if you're talking about 5 months out and ahead of you, then the future is probably your best option, actually. That's what I would do. Silly maxing. Use anchored VWAPs on low time frames. I do. I use anchored VWAPs from key swing points, and then I use anchored VWAPs on fresh coins that don't have a lot of price history. What do you think is the best thing or the best advantage that the Paragon offers? Honestly, like the just nuance and experience. It's not really advertised, but we have a lot of people in there that have enormous amounts of experience. So that's the main thing. I can sit here and tell you, like, oh, I'm gonna tell you how to not be an idiot with reading order flow. That's true. I'm gonna tell you how to avoid all the stupid pitfalls you see on Twitter and shit about people thinking they're playing four-dimensional chess and really they're just over here playing checkers against themselves. I'm really gonna point you in the right direction with that. But really, the main thing is the psychological and the just nuance and experience that you're gonna get from all these dudes that have been doing this for, you know, I'm at 9 years. I don't even know how long Charlie might be above 10 years now because he's a little bit older than me. I mean, we have a bunch of other guys in the group, I'm not going to name names, that have tons of experience. That's the main thing for sure. I bought 10 low caps, less than 2 mil, hoping for 100x. Brother, I don't do those kind of things, so good luck. I'm very, very past the on-chain gambling kind of shit. I'll do that when Bitcoin's at 100K, I'll be gambling on-chain with you, but I'm not doing that these days. I'm just going to trade perps and spot. What's up, Callus? It's easy to be profitable in crypto, but to beat the hodler over a cycle, that's a different challenge. I mean, to each their own. Last bull market, for example, there's no way somebody just held things and beat me unless they were holding Shiba or something, right? Unless you're holding something that's going from a minuscule market cap to a large market cap, you're not going to beat me because I'm pivoting from narrative to narrative. Last cycle, I nailed every narrative except for NFTs. I totally whiffed on NFTs, but I nailed DeFi, I nailed Metaverse, and I nailed hit on GameFi as well with DeFi Kingdom. So, you know, yes, you're probably going to do better just holding and doing nothing. Or what you need to do is separate the two, right? You need to have a portfolio for holding and then a separate thing for active trading. Yeah, obviously, you want to probably have more money in your portfolio. But I don't think to say it's easy to be profitable in crypto is definitely not true, bro. I've been here a long time, and I was actually, some of you guys might know Roof Hanzo. I was having a chat with him the other day because we've been around a long time, and we were talking about how so many of the people that we were friends with over the years are just gone, just disappeared. And nobody ever gets blown out and goes, hey guys, I got blown out, I'm gonna take a break and go work my job. They just fucking disappear on you. So it's crazy how many people come for the free money and just lose it all. This happens a lot. Guess who's back? Welcome back, brother. I quit my job at the top of the last cycle, moved to a no income tax. Fucking chat's moving. I just lost that message. Where'd it go? Oh, you deleted your shit because you're doxing yourself, I think. Being in the group helps me check myself out. I post ideas and get contrarian views. Yeah, I mean, if somebody thinks you're dead wrong, I mean, nobody's going to be hesitant to tell you that maybe that's not a good idea. But also, it's not like there's never been anybody in the group that was like rude to other people that didn't get addressed. That maybe only happened once or twice at the very beginning of the group, like 2.5 years ago. If you contribute and bring good vibes, people want to see you succeed. That's facts, yeah. Absolutely. Does the intro course include VWAPs? And no, it's going to be more generalized than that. Greg. Shh. You guys don't see anything. You definitely don't see Greg's message in the chat. All right, guys, I caught up with the chat, so I'm going to talk about a few things, and then I'll catch up with chat again. So we'll get into the altcoins here soon enough. So get your holsters ready to fire off your shitcoin tickers into the chat soon. Don't start spamming it yet, though, please, because we're not ready. The last two things I wanted to talk about on Bitcoin was going to be around the kind of range. Right, so this was my plan on Sunday night. The plan was bid the New York session yesterday. It worked out pretty well. FTA right here around this composite HVN plus anchored VWAP region. So basically 43.5 was FTA. Final take profit area around a little bit over 45K. I'm not super optimistic that we're going to go right there. I think probably what happens is that it actually probably legs back down towards my entry kind of region and then trades up into this. So this is probably what's going to happen with Bitcoin on medium time frame. As far as, you know, the things that you need to be paying attention to, I think obviously you want to pay close attention to the range that we're in. You know, it's been building up for quite some time now, 2 months. We're going to be on our 3rd month soon enough of this range. The more we go sideways, the more people give up. So we like that, right? The key things to pay attention to are going to be the rolling VWAP and then these two HVNs, right? You can very clearly see that within this larger range, you have the very obvious distribution taking place in the middle. So this is the kind of area you want to be the most careful with your trades, because this is the most choppy area within the range, right? So your interactions outside of this area are your best expected value kind of reasons to take trades. It's really important that you think about it like this. This is the high volume node within the entire range, so this is obviously going to be the most choppy place. That's pretty much going to be it, right? You know, some of the other things I wanted to talk about, which I'm going to lightly go through, right, is that if we drop this down to a lower time frame, make it full screen for you guys. Oh, make it full screen. This is the Coinbase against Binance spot, right? So while Coinbase was trading at a discount to Binance, that was pretty bearish. What happened during that whole period? We traded down. That discount has now dissipated to a pretty neutral, right? When it's looking like this is pretty neutral. So what I gather from this is that the seller is definitely tiring, right? They're running out of supply on Coinbase. This is what we've been waiting for. I don't think this means that we're going to trade up from here right away. I think that we're still going to trade down lower, but this is definitely a healthy sign, strength for bulls. The other thing to pay attention to is that the Coinbase against perps, right? So Coinbase is trading below or ahead of perps right now, which is what you want to see as somebody that wants to get long. So I'm waiting for the reason to bet harder, but I'm trying to be patient and not overexpose myself, because I still think that we have some chop coming our way. But that's pretty much, I can digress from Bitcoin at that point. So we'll get into some shit coins here. I'll check chat here in a second. We'll start with ETH though. By the way, if and when we get another super cycle, do you think it will be more driven by large players this time or retail? So yeah, it seems pretty obvious that the market's going to be driven by larger people more and more over time, right? We're definitely reaching that stage where legacy, like whenever we're in a bull market next time, like they're going to be a driving price, right? Big players are going to be driving price for sure. If we're talking about like on-chain shitcoins and things like that, that's obviously still going to be your local degenerate crypto nerd, right? But for Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, a lot of these kind of things that are larger cap and liquid and legitimized over time, definitely going to be driven by the big boys. Hey Bernardo, don't I appreciate, but yeah, don't sweat it. That's why I always try to. Obviously, the free stuff's not going to be as good, but I do make an effort to do free stuff to pay it forward. Very kind of you, Reg. All right, so with ETH, I don't really have too much to say. I'm going to delete all these squiggles really quickly. I still basically don't give a shit about ETH. As far as ETH is concerned, it's been a dog shit coin for a long time. I might unironically be bulling it into a local low again. Jesus. Yeah, so the theme for ETH since the dawn of time has been that ETH gets grossly outperformed by Bitcoin the majority of the cycle and then has a massive catch up near the end. So we're clearly still in that. All of 2023, bearish. 2024, it's too early to call it bearish or anything like that, but I mean, it's probably going to continue last year's trend. So remember, guys, every time we have one of these moves, people on your timeline go, it's time for ETH, right? Well, it's pretty good habit to bully them, honestly, because this is what happens, right? Is that every time it's time for ETH, it's not time for ETH anymore. The obvious bid has been on Solana all year, right? So ETH is a blue ball coin. It's been like that, not just this cycle. 2021 cycle was that way. 2017 cycle, it wasn't so much because ETH was so much more important because the ICOs were really driving price. So as I remember, ETH wasn't as cooked in 2017, but 2021, it was the same thing. It got grossly outperformed all of 2020. beginning of 2021, it was still getting outperformed. Late 2021, ETH played massive catch up. So that's the same. It's going to be the same story most likely with ETH, where it's going to get grossly outperformed. Once Bitcoin is in like a definitive bull market stage, ETH will play catch up at some point. The ETH catch up trade will be a massive opportunity, but being early to it and being all these guys that are trying to catch it early, it's just going to cause pain for them. So I would still, out of the larger caps, Bitcoin and Solana are the things you should be placing emphasis on, which will probably do a good segue into Solana. So I'm relatively risk off on Solana. I still have some spot. And basically what I'm looking for, let's go to the 4 hour, is going to be, I don't like the way that the yearly has been developing with the consecutive lower highs and lower lows. This is the first sign of strength that we've seen, which is basically this development getting through the VWAP and trading up higher, making a higher high. What I want to see Solana do now is I do think that since I think Bitcoin is going to pull back, I think that that Solana will probably do the same. I want to see Solana pull back into this kind of region, find support, and flip the VWAP. If I see something like this, then I'm going to get super bullish on this again, expecting it to trade all the way to anywhere from 150 all the way to 170 next kind of region. And I'm not even looking at historic price history, right? Somebody at the beginning of the stream asked, how do you look at altcoins that don't have price history? I don't even need to look at price history. This is probably where it goes. Now let's go ahead and delete all this. For science, we're going to go back and look at Solana price history. And I bet you there's coincidentally going to be a level that just lines up with whatever I just said. Gee, it really is that easy. No, that wasn't staged. I know that seems pretty cringe, like I just did that on purpose, but that's legit. That you can just fucking eyeball where things are gonna go. I don't need this price history anymore to go over here and go, yeah, this thing will probably struggle in the 140s, potentially all the way up to 170s next leg, right? So if it's gonna do my flip, it's gonna look like this. It'll probably slow down and get bunked here, and then maybe resume uptrend later on. But that's probably what I'm just guessing, but it's probably what she do. Whoa. That's not the right song that was supposed to come on next. We're about to get hard copyrighted right there. So yeah, as far as Solana goes, I unironically bear posted on this thing on Sunday, and it showed a little strength, so it gave me a classic fuck you kind of move. This could still resolve bearishly where it trades down in this region and then just makes a lower low, and then that's going to be the channel continuing downwards. So I want to see some come down in this region and see some real strength in flows, right? I want to see some real demand start to pop up into this region to see that kind of pivot take place. Otherwise, we're going to just drift back down lower. I don't think, to be clear too, if you're worried at all, I do not think that we will just do this, right? We will not just go up from here, most likely. What will almost certainly happen is pull back, but first. And that's largely going to be contingent upon Bitcoin, because I think Bitcoin's due for a little mini pullback as well. So anyways, we got a little tongue-tied there. If only you guys heard the outtakes of when I record videos, how often I do that and how often I start yelling at myself about being an idiot and that my brain doesn't work. Because the moment I mispronounce one word, it's over. I start yelling at myself. All right. So that's pretty much it for Sol. If there's any specific questions about Solana, let me know. Otherwise, I am going to run through some other shitcoins, so don't sweat it. Solana ETH chart is wild. I mean, I don't ever look at stuff like this, but we will for... Why would it give me Bitstamp? Jesus Christ. Eventually, I'll make it work. There we go. No, I gotta be doing that wrong. I don't remember how to even fucking make these things. I don't ever compare shit randomly. I'm boomerang this. Like that should have worked. Whatever. That's obviously not working. I'm sure it is, but where though? Oh, there you go. Oh, so it was working. You said it looks wild. It's literally just the fucking... This is just Solana like against USD. No slash nothing. Yeah, I mean, this... It was working what I was just doing. It's the same chart. It just... I didn't think that that was right because it's literally just the fucking Solana USDT chart. It's literally just Sol against... So I don't know why it looks crazy because it's just the same chart we were already looking at. You look at Helium, bro. I already know that's a dog shit coin. Why the fuck does Coinbase have something like this? Yo, it looks good. If you're in this thing, good for you. It'll probably go up. But this, I already know I wouldn't touch this fucking thing. Immediately once I see the name, I know I won't touch it. You still have Blur in your favorite looking chart? I do have Blur. I think Blur looks fucking super good still. Once I catch up with Chad, I'm going to run through my shitcoins. It's intuition. I've spent 3 years looking at charts, 10 hours a day. That's how you get the ability to eyeball things. Yeah, I mean, it's an underrated thing. I'm a master at eyeballing charts nowadays. Look at Render. I don't have Render on my main list, so I'm going to skip it straight to yours because otherwise I'll forget. Okay, Render looks okay. I think that there's other coins that look better than it, but it looks okay. Basically, with something like this, you're looking for it to exhaust, do its pullback, and then buy the pullback for continuation. It looks okay. I think that there's just better. There are things that just look better than this that I'm more focused on, but it looks okay. Pardon his boomer ways. Can you look at Say? Say's not on my list, so yeah, we'll look at Say. Yeah, Say looks alright. Definitely is not a terrible coin by any means, but I do think that there's things that look better than it, for sure. Looks okay. It's not. It's a $1.5 billion market cap. Why is it not listed anywhere then? It's only listed on Coinbase and KuCoin. Honestly, Coinbase needs to get fucking bullied for listing such like low cap like shit coins all the time too. Not even saying that your coin's a shit coin. I'm saying that they list shit coins all the time. If I say it's crap, I don't think you should, Greg. I think you're wrong, Greg, that just because I say it's crap doesn't mean I'm right. A lot of the time I'm just trying to, I don't want to look at a million coins. I want to limit the amount of coins to a small number if I can. Arbitrum. I liked Arbitrum during the ETH beta little narrative. It looks okay. It looks okay. It's in, you know, this uptrend is still intact, so that's good for it. Again, I think that there's just better coins than Arbitrum, but it looks all right. Definitely not terrible. Hi, broski. I used to shill Vaporware on the timeline. Glad I discovered your content. I mean, you know, Vaporware can be good for making money for some of you guys, so don't write it off. I'm just not about that stuff anymore, you know? When my friends ask me about on-chain coins and stuff, I just say, I don't know, bro, or I ignore them, you know, because it's not my thing anymore. Do you have a Telegram or Discord group where you share information on the market and trends? Obviously, this is where I show the Paragon group. I have a paid group, so yeah. I don't do anything else publicly is all YouTube and Twitter, and then privately is Discord. The point with the Bitcoin hodler argument is that they make pretty much dollars holders easily make 3.5x last cycle, 19k to 69k. Great traders beat this, but most won't. Yeah, but what I would just say is, right, like, you want to get allocated to Bitcoin and then you want to move it into something else, right? So like last cycle, if you did that same thing where you bought Bitcoin and then sold it and bought Solana, you would have outperformed a lot of traders by buying Solana, because Solana went up 100x. You know, it went from $3 to $300 last cycle. But yeah, sure, I'm not arguing against it. To each their own. I'm personally not interested in just buying and holding things like that, but that can be a very legitimate strategy for people. The best approach, what I would say, would be separate them, have probably the majority of your gamble money in portfolios that is just parked in spot, and you hope it appreciates, and have some of your money allotted to actually try to actively trade with. But you want to probably have less money in the active trading account than your portfolio, because newsflash, you're probably a lot less likely to make money actively trading. USTC. What the fuck? Why do they keep making... What? That's not even a stable coin? Alright, we're taking that off the screen immediately. You look at LRC. I think LRC was looking pretty good recently. Yeah, so I have it relatively high on my scam list. It's a good coin. This looks pretty decent. I personally don't like trading something that looks like this. Very obvious that when it's moving like this, that this is not a high activity coin. This is low participation. There's somebody that has probably cornered the supply and is just straight up, they're DWFing this thing. So I wouldn't trade this personally. You guys are going to see what coins I'm going to trade here in a moment when I catch up with chat and I actually look at mine. I do 85-15. Yeah, that's probably a pretty good split. I think you need to be a good trader to buy 16K and still 69K. That's actually facts, not going to lie. You either need to be a good trader or really, really dumb to be able to do that. So well said. Totally agree. Okay. I'm going to run through my shit coins. Somebody's asking about TIA, which is near the top of my list, so we'll look at that next. So one of the coins I'm paying very close attention to right now is Dusk, because of the real world asset narrative. This thing immediately started to catch a bid recently. It has a really strong yearly open, and it has a good local uptrend. So basically anything that looks like this, dips are for buying. The most ideal setup would be to be able to buy around 22 cents. So I'm actually going to slap on alert at like 23 for myself. That's where I would like to buy. The thing is that a lot of the time with these strong altcoins, you don't actually get those kind of pullbacks. You have to buy the shallow VWAP pullbacks. ASTR is another one that I really like. This thing looks fucking really good. You look at the local uptrend, and then you look at the immediate trend from the year, looking real good. So this is for sure going to be, yeah, I mean, it's already into the all-time highs. I think this might have a spot pair. I don't remember, but this thing looks really tasty right now. Blur's another one that looks really good. Very similar to ASTR with structuring. Good local uptrend and good immediate trend structuring. I like this one a lot for continuation. Somebody asked about TIA. TIA's been a coin that I really liked a lot. Almost all coins, probably like 99.9% of coins, when this sell-off came, sold off and did this, where they made a lower high and they broke their market structure, where TIA just perfectly maintained its market structure. So I was having a chat with my boy Sting the other day about TIA, and you guys are probably all familiar with the idea that TIA is like, if you stake your TIA, you get all sorts of fucking stupid airdrops and rewards and shit, right? That's the reason why this thing is going up the way it is people want their free money. So as long as the TIA lockups are continuing to work for people, this thing's going to keep going up. So you should put some respect on TIA's name for sure. We asked about Sui earlier. Sui's a fucking absolute monster right now. Anything that looks like this is just dips are for buying. So this thing is a GigaChad coin. Very strong, like medium-ish time frame trend. And then the local trend is really strong too. Anything that has momentum like this off the yearly open is something that should be respected. So this thing looks really good. Your shallow dip buying zone is probably like $1.40. Maybe your Giga dip buying zone is closer to $1.20. You probably have to go with the shallow attempts to actually get a fill. Manta next. No fucking idea what Manta is. All I know is that this thing is good to trade. This thing is really high activity, really strong local uptrend. I like the brand new, you guys that have watched for a long time, I love the brand new scam coins. The brand new coin that just got listed 3 weeks ago. I love trading those things. If they're high activity and they look like this, I'm going to be there, especially when they have a local trend. So this thing has a clearly defined trend. I think it's going to be the same thing with Ondo as well. I think Ondo is just less pronounced. I think Manta might be related to RWA, though. I don't even really remember, though. Beauty of this stuff is that I don't need to know. I just need to know how to trade it. Next one I kind of like is Ondo. This is a classic RWA, looking very triangle memey, right? So this thing is probably gonna just keep compressing until it just goes shoom one day, right? So I really like Ondo. I can't believe Pendle's up again today. So this is I had a really good entry on Pendle and I just closed it too early. So Pendle's another one that I really like. God damn, what a fucking move yesterday and today. It's like up like 20%, 25%. Yeah, so I had a really good trade on this recently. I closed it out too early. If I zoom in or zoom out a little bit, right, Pendle, I mean, look at this fucking thing. It's an absolute monster. So straight up, anything that looks like this, dips are for buying. It really is that simple. That's pretty much it for the coins that I had a lot of interest in looking at. I'm going to look at a couple others on my list, just because I haven't looked at them this morning. I think fucking Pyth looks fucking good still, guys. This thing, especially because one of my friends that I trust from fundamental stuff, one of my friends is super bullish on this thing. So I'll just go ahead and shill his bag for him on the stream. This thing looks fucking super good. It's some sort of fucking Solana network, ecosystem play. I think that most of the other coins I don't fucking care about either. Since JTO is super important right now, that's interesting. What's front looking like? If you could survive the volatility on front, this thing is going to keep going up. I stopped trading this thing because the volatility is insane on this thing. It's literally swinging fucking 20, 30, 40% moves. So, if you can stomach the vol on this thing is really strong and will probably continue trending up. I'm gonna claim clout when it goes to 69 cents, even though I'm not long on it anymore. I took 2 fucking massive trades on this thing, and it's just too illiquid and not enough activity for me to participate here. Getting in and out of positions on this thing was a fucking nightmare. I was slipping the fuck out of the book when I was breaking my orders up really small with TWAPs, and I was still slipping on this thing a little bit too much. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the Toy Story meme where I don't want to play with you anymore. I'm gonna pick up the Buzz Lightyear and play with the new shit instead. I'm kind of done with this one. I'm gonna catch up with chat. I did Tia. Look at Doge. I'm probably gonna bully Doge, but let's see. Doji. Yeah, I have nothing nice to say about this thing. It's kind of, right, look, a lot of coins have these local trends. This is when Bitcoin went up, from 30 to 50 or whatever. It broke its trend. It has a very choppy yearly open. I have zero nice things to say about this. The only reason why this thing is going to go up is if Elon starts shilling it again. Avalanche, we can look at Avalanche, which I did trade AVAX a bit last year. It looks similar to Solana, but worse, right? So basically, Avalanche is just Solana beta at this point. I'd much rather focus on Solana than Avalanche. I'm not an expert on layer ones or anything, but I definitely think that Solana is a much better chain. I don't know anybody that uses Avalanche anymore or builds on it. I know I personally use Solana to do transactions still, and I know a bunch of friends that build on it. Can you look at what the fuck is that? Yes, I mean, I can't trade this. Oh! Disgusting. This is a 4-hour chart, and it looks like it's like a 1-second chart. It's pretty bad, I'm not gonna lie. Is Pyth the insider Pink Hentai Bunny on Twitter? The fuck? I don't know. I don't think so. ENS. ENS looks okay. Surprisingly, considering ETH is in the shitter, ENS looks okay. It's crazy how they, if you go look at this open interest on this move, it's pretty wild. It looks okay. Same kind of thing with SSV. SSV has a decent local uptrend. I don't like the way that the yearly is developing, though. That's why it's not, you know, something I'm focusing on. Thoughts on BRC20? I don't know, brother. I don't really care. If BRC20s are a reason for people to fucking gamble and spend money and things like that, then that's cool, you know. But I don't really care personally about any of these kind of developments. Sorry if you missed it. Can you do OP? No, I did not do OP. I've not been trading OP for a long time. Let's look at it. Yeah, rough yearly open, right? This is just, it looks like it's just doing a bearish retest right now, right? I don't really like the way that OP looks. That's why it's not something I'm placing emphasis on. And you're making me look at fucking wrapped ETH charts. At some point, I'm gonna straight up, at some point in the not so distant future, I'm going to straight up ban these kind of things. I mean, brother, this looks even fucking worse than when I looked at, you know? Not gonna lie to you. In the not so distant future, I'm gonna straight up ban these kind of coins. CHR, what the fuck is that? Okay, at least it's on Nance. Okay. I can immediately tell with the candle structuring, it's pretty low liquidity, low activity. It has a really good local trend, and the yearly is not terrible. It's a little bit more range bound than I want to see, but it looks okay-ish. But yeah, guys, we're hour 30 minutes into the stream. I've looked at a lot of really dumb shit coins, so I'm kind of over it right now. Hey, no problem. I don't mind looking at it. I really don't want to, one of the issues is I don't like bringing dog shit coins on because I don't want to promote people buying them, right? I know that if you own this thing, you obviously want me to tell people to buy it, but I don't want to tell people to buy shit coins. They have low expectancy. Tau? Yeah, I've seen that name a lot recently. I don't even know what this is, though. Let's see. Okay, that's why I don't know what it is, because I can't trade it, because it's not on anywhere that I would trade. But, is there at least a Bybit perp? Jesus. Yeah, there's a reason why I don't look at something like this, but... Oh, you know what? Honestly, holy fuck. If you're printing off this, good for you. But, it's in a decentish trend. I wouldn't touch things like this, though. On these other exchanges, personally. It's not my cup of tea. I want to trade liquid, high-activity coins. Butterfly Weath. I remember that back in the day. Yeah, little Frank's, you know, he's spitting facts. Let's stop shilling shitcoins and shill the channel. Press like for me. Got 130 of you in here and 77 likes. Press that like button for me. Listen, man, Butterfly is the future of finance. I never participated in any of the OHM Ponzi's, but I had some friends that did, and you got to be a savage if you want to make money with those things. You got to be ready to dump on everybody, including your friends. Great stream as usual. No problem, Thizzcake. I always liked your name, by the way, Thiz. I remember that name every time I stream. You pop up, and it's very memorable. Tao is getting the CT influencer shield treatment right now. Ah, yes, of course. Right, we've bought the supply, and now I'm going to rebalance your portfolio for you by. You guys have seen that meme where it's like, I'm taking profit. No, I'm not taking profit. I'm rebalancing my portfolio. No, I'm securing generational wealth. No, I'm rebalancing your portfolio. That shit fucking gets me every time. I know that, musician, you might be in the chat. I know you have that one stored somewhere. That's a spicy meme, though. It makes me fucking laugh every time. Look at Nier before you. No problem, James. I have not been looking at Nier for a long time. I don't imagine it to look good. That's what I more or less expected. I don't think that hardly any layer 1s look good if they're not brand new layer 1s, like Tia, which I think is what that is. I think... Actually, Tia might be on Cosmos. I don't actually remember. I can't remember any of these things. Almost all layer 1s look like they're ass except for Solana. And Solana is very, like, you know, it's good, but like middle good. It's not like good, you know? Looking at Near, you know, it doesn't look that great. Like, the local uptrend is good, but this structuring looks really bad with the lower lows, lower highs kind of argument. It looks like the yearly is going to continuously bonk it. So I don't really have anything super optimistic to say about this one. I would say if I wanted to trade layer 1, you know, do the layer 1 trade, it's just Solana. And again, remember the plan, guys, for Sol is either it trades up higher or trades lower, but either way, wait for it to come back, interact with this kind of zone, see what that looks like is the plan. If we start to like get like definitively up here, then maybe I will chase. Which I probably would try to use Nance Futures if that was the case. Whoa. All right, we're going to wrap it up here pretty soon. Let's see. Most alts such as Avalanche, Arbitrum, OP look like bearish dead cat bounce. Do you agree? I do agree. I'm rebalancing your portfolio. Good one. Yeah, it's too good. You guys have seen that meme where it's like the dude with like the Giga Brain meme. Sent the meme in the Paragon channel. There you go. Easy. Lear makes everything so easy for me. Holy shit. But yeah, I'm dumping on you. Okay, no, so there's one that has like a bunch of extra steps to this. Because there was the meme like I'm locking in generational wealth. There are some really good ones. Thanks, Lear, though. Why would you use Nance Futures to chase Solana? It'll be cheaper than buying it, is why. It's a cheaper alternative for me to get the size I want to get without having to chase, right? If something's trending up and I'm chasing with spot buys, I'm not going to get the fills I want. So I'm much more inclined to be able to get that on futures. So that's just an oh shit plan. I fucked up. I don't have the exposure I want to have, and I need to get the exposure to get my sizing back. I probably would use derivatives instead of chasing on spot. It's just going to be straight up easier for me to get my sizing, and it's going to be cheaper. Spot trading is expensive, lads. You don't want to be buying and selling spot all the time. You want to buy spot and then do nothing with it, because it's literally the most expensive way to trade. Bitcoin is about to retest the high, can reject from here. Yeah, I mean, that's my plan. I did do the squiggle earlier, over here. I think this is my FTA area. I mean, I'm long, so I don't really care either way, but I do think it's going to round trip me is most likely scenario. But I think it probably fails here, comes back to demand, and goes back up to my final take profit zone. If it just goes up straight from there, you're not going to hear me complaining. I'm not going to cry if that's what it does, you know? You know, if it wants to flip this region and just go up from here, I'm going to be happy, for sure. But I'm mentally prepared for the idea of it coming back and then going up. But all right, everybody. I am going to wrap it up there. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Asking some good questions today. Always enjoy doing these things. I appreciate interacting with people that really want to better themselves as opposed to people that just want to be spoon-fed the answers. That shit's boring. Yeah, I try to be Asgard. I try to go easy on people. I think it's a combination of both. People are late and people also don't listen. People also don't hear what I say if it's not what they want to hear, right? People come to listen and they want to hear what they want to hear, right? So I'm going to digress from the stream. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Press that like button for me if you have not already. Otherwise, I will see you next week. I might change the schedule around, and I was considering maybe doing a little bit more YouTube content, so maybe you might fuck around with doing one solo stream and one duo stream per week. What do you guys think about that? That was something I was messing around with. They won't be as consistent because it's going to be hard for me to get a guest every week that's worth actually interviewing, but I was thinking about doing my solo stream and then maybe doing a duo stream with somebody every week. That'd be fucking cool to double our content. But anyways, I'm out of here. Cheers, everybody. Good luck out there.